So there is a vast difference between academics and education. When everything that we've ever learned is going to be redundant. Life skills, there's no limitation to the syllabus of life skills. I've understood over a period of time, niceness and humility opens much more doors. I want the spirit of students to soar, man. I don't want you to hold back a student. It's not necessary that that'll be the line that they follow all the time.
Welcome, Madhavan. What have been your favorite characters that you've played to date? I'm not talking about just commercial successes, but I'm talking about something that's been close to your heart.
I have enjoyed the characters where I have put a lot of Maddie in them. And by doing that, you make it a little more real, right? So maybe not in Yedri when I'm playing Bottle Money. That's as far away from my real life as possible. But be it Karthik and Ali Paide, or in Ali in Minnale, or be it Inba, or be it Tambi, who had a lot of philosophies and a lot of things that I would have done in my real life or desired to do became part of that character. That has worked for me. Iridi Sutri is very close to my heart. So when I played Adi Tomar, that was very close to my heart kind of character. And then of course, Breathe, as a father, and there are, you sometimes, you're amazed at the kind of things, emotions are capable of manifesting you into becoming, when there is a challenging facing your child, and it's unreasonable anger and unreasonable amount of passion that you exhibit when you're trying to do something for your kids. So Breathe was a great outlet for that aspect of me. So these have been largely very good, exciting characters for me. But I think by far the most outstanding character in my life is going to be Nambi Narayanan, because it was shocking how similar we are.
Do you think education, a formal education, a school really enhances the way we are in your dream format? Let's say in whatever manner you feel is vital.
It'll be foolish for us to imagine that a farmer who tends to his soil and brings out a yearly, yield is uneducated. He might not have the benefit of academics, but to assume that he's uneducated would be foolish of us. So there is a vast difference between academics and education. Education is imperative. There is no doubt whatsoever that the discipline involved in acquiring the education by itself is a life lesson that everybody should learn. But there is no set way of learning anything, of educating yourself, because there are many intelligences that needs to be developed, and one of us have different types of intelligence that helps us become who we are and make a living out of what we do. So people have artistic intelligence, they have navigational intelligence, they have mechanical intelligence, they have application intelligence. So when you send somebody to school and you ask them to study something and just replicate that in an exam, you're only determining one aspect of their intelligence, and you're then putting them in a cocoon and saying the rest of you are useless. And I was unfortunately one of those useless categories, because I could not relate to academics and getting into a set form of acquiring knowledge as education. So a mechanic is extraordinarily educated. He might not have an academic qualification, but he is educated. So I don't believe in the stipulated and the structured form of academics being the only source of education. I do not believe that. I think any child who's deprived of life experiences is being undereducated. So it doesn't matter if you're getting number one rank in class. You're just completely uneducated because you don't know 3 international languages. You haven't gone out and actually experienced different aspects of life, like gone to a picnic or got into a fight or learned how to swallow your ego and say sorry when you're wrong, and all those things when you need to do when you're a youngster to be able to educate yourself. So once, in fact, I think it'll be even more relevant after the COVID era, when everything that we've ever learned is going to be redundant, in my opinion. You don't even know where to start education from in schools. Are you going to be able to teach kids everything from ABCD from kindergarten right up to AI in college? That's not going to happen. So who's going to bifurcate the syllabus? Who's going to decide when the child doesn't need to know all about how many wives Shah Jahan has, or about how many moons that Jupiter has, and just concentrate on what the child is interested in becoming an expert in? That, I think, is an extremely important demarcation that we made very soon. COVID era.
Yeah. I enjoyed school despite so many shortcomings growing up. And whether you were academically inclined or not, you enjoyed school and you got to do a lot of things when you were in school and college. And I'm talking about school as primary education as well as secondary education. And now our thinking is a little different from our parents as we raise our kids and send them to school. We want them to be achievers. What would you like to see in an ideal school?
Life skills, there's no limitation to the syllabus of life skills. Physics and chemistry can be part of the syllabus, but life skills, the more you acquire, the better it is. And the most successful people in the world today, more than they're just mere talent of whatever they have produced, have acquired extraordinary people skills. And I think that should be the essential part of any school that I send Vedant to, is to meet people, see how you can, what opens doors for you. I've understood over a period of time, niceness and humility opens much more doors than trying to exercise your position as a member of the society. So that's the kind of school that I would like people to go to, and then let them pursue. I mean, I want the spirit of students to soar, man. I don't want you to hold back a student, fail somebody in the 5th standard, because that doesn't make sense to me. On what basis have you failed somebody? You've killed his spirit by holding him back or her back. That's not, at that young an age, it doesn't make sense to me. We're still following a very age-old educational system set by the British almost 250 years ago. So I'm totally against having to put a child into a box and then see if he fits in there.
I'm glad you said that, because that's inspiring.
One more thing, I think every kid in all these schools should be made to clean their own bathrooms. I think every kid should make sure that, the hygiene is maintained, not by the ayahs and the other people. I think it should be part of the school curriculum to make sure that they very actually doctrine this into their actual aspect. They should know, we did this. We went to schools where we were told class cleaning was part of it. And it should be toilet cleaning also. It's not a place. And if we had done that, if you respect that, I think half the problems won't be there today in the world. Shakti, this is going to be very shocking news for most people. But in the Silicon Valley, if you go to Silicon Valley and if you look at people who have made it big as Indians, okay, over there, a large percentage of those kids, of those people, as kids have learned, have been educated in a municipality school. How shocking is that? Of course, they went on to go to Harvard and all that after a period of time. But the basic education was started in a municipality school.
Let's say Madhavan, the Cabinet Minister for Education, speaks. What would your first 30 days look like as a Cabinet Minister for Education?
Oh, I would actually get a gambit of people from around the world to find out at what is the age that we need to bifurcate a student's speciality. From which standard and which school should they start pursuing the line that they're interested in. It's not necessary that that'll be the line that they follow all the time. But we need to really look hard into our syllabus first and foremost and see how much of the education is relevant and how much of the education is just conditioning, and get rid of that.
Excellent.
Yeah. And second thing is, I need to make my initial syllabus extremely light. I need the kid to be able to spend a lot more time outside the school, still being given marks, be it sports, be it social activity, be it everything else. It should have equal weightage. If you learn a new language and you're able to, international language, I think I would give that much importance to overall development, and with a very pivotal sort of a syllabus, which means that you're able to shift it every time you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not burying the child under books. It's letting the child grow up and learn life skills by interacting with people. So, I would make it compulsory in schools for children to go and meet and be with. And for example, every third week you should go and study in a different school that has a partnership with you. So I want the Doon school to be able to send somebody to Vidya Mandir. I want the Vidya Mandir guys to go to the municipality school and talk to the teachers there and make sure the marks they get over there for that 1 week is as relevant as wherever they're going to. So what happens is you get to educate yourself and talk to and understand different strata of society. Now, I know a lot of old guns will tell you this is not possible, that is not possible. But I want to tell you that the reason they're old guns is because they say it's not possible. Their conditioning does not allow them to see in a different way. If I have to go back to the industry and I have to do and I have to realize that only you can dance and sing and wear green pants, and then only that will make you a hero. I won't be sitting here talking to you, nor would I have done Three Idiots, nor would I have done Irresistible. So you have to be the first ones to the wall. You're going to get your nose bloodied, but it can be done. It has to be done.
I hate this, but I'm coming to the end of our chat. Maybe we will meet soon and have a longer one over champagne. So
Right.
I wanted to ask you humbly, in these unprecedented times, COVID-19 and everything, the current hygiene and sanitation situation, I have to say this formally, is in thousands of schools, especially government schools across the country, are in a deplorable condition, and they're almost like a breeding ground for the coronavirus. And we want to give hope to parents and children that, yes, the environment will be safe, clean, and hygienic and fun again, and we want the children to go back to school. So can you give everybody who's watching a word or two of encouragement and support? Can you tell them what we're doing with Bharat Washed and SocioLadder?
I mean, Bharat Wash is an extraordinary concept, and cleaning up the schools around the country is an essential thing so that they're habitable again and people can go there without the fear, which as an organization you have taken up with the missionary zeal, which is brilliant. But I think eventually everybody's going to be fearful of going to schools, and that's not an unfounded fear. But you must understand that the maximum growth for a child is collectively. You cannot afford to keep them home for long. And eventually, people like Shakti and the and Shravan and the rest of the team who are making this effort to clean up the schools. I think one of the brilliant things. Let me just sidestep a little bit here. Our dropout rates for girls studying in schools was much higher till this particular government came. And I think I'm surprised that all the political parties did not actually agree with and start the Swachh Bharat movement with a passion, because building these toilets in the schools that they managed to do has brought down the dropout rate between the girls from the 7th standard to the 12th standard to a great extent, because they were able to use the toilet during the time when they were getting their periods, and therefore the dropout rate has reduced considerably. And we've got much more. And so it's a brilliant move. And I think everybody, irrespective of which aspect you should stand, should appreciate this aspect of Mr. Modi. And I'm a great fan of that movement, okay? And I think furthering that, it's what you're doing right now, is cleaning up the schools. And it's a Herculean task, especially after being closed for so many months and the amount of, infections that is spreading so rapidly. But I think when the confidence comes that it's okay to move out and it's okay to send the children out to play for a while, efforts like yours will help people come to school even faster. And I really wish you all the very best. I think it's an extraordinary, most people would not have even thought of such an effort. You having thought about it and actually moving in that direction and implementing it, kudos to all of you. I think it's a brilliant insight and a brilliant effort.
Thank you. Thank you as a friend. Thank you as an admirer. And thank you as somebody who, along with Bharat Washed and the SL Foundation, SocioLadder Foundation, we really look up to somebody like you who is able to use your intellect and your name and fame and actually speak words of support, speak words of great common sense, and hopefully inspire a lot of youngsters and their families to stay in school, to study, to do something amazing, to follow their dreams, like you said, turn their dreams into passions and goals. I'm touched, I'm grateful, and I hope we can speak to you again soon.
Thank you, Shakti. Pleasure entirely mine, and thank you all who made it happen on this day. I'm sure you're all at the offices and practicing whatever social distancing you can. We tried at the office. It was very difficult, but yes. Thank you for the effort and also for making me feel so good.
No.
You guys have a lovely rest of the day.
You too. No lip service here. You know this. I don't have to tell you this.
Thank you.
So much.
Great pleasure meeting you.
Bye, guys.